Hi everyone. I'm standing at the Maroondah Aqueduct, or what's left of it. It winds through Nillumbik, and although many of us discovered the trail as somewhere we could exercise during lockdown, what we may not realise is that this is something of an engineering marvel. It was built in the 1880s, and it was Melbourne's fresh water supply for over 100 years. It managed to take fresh water from Healesville all the way to Melbourne just using gravity. By the 1880s, Melbourne had a real growth problem. It had been booming since the 1850s gold rush, but it was not actually that livable. Squalid conditions and lack of clean water meant that diseases like typhoid and diphtheria were a real threat. It got the nickname Smelbourne, so something had to be done. The city authorities realised they had to get the sewerage out and fresh water in. Melbourne's first large-scale reservoir at Yan Yean proved that a major city could be supplied with fresh water using an aqueduct and gravity. But we needed more, so Melbourne engineers looked to the mountains east of the city. The same mountains that gave us gold and timber could provide fresh, clean water. To do that, it would need to travel 68 kilometres, falling at a rate of 1 foot per mile. And that's quite a feat. If it worked, over 1 million litres of fresh water would flow to the Preston Reservoir. That is how Reservoir got its name. Work started in 1886 with teams of construction workers, or navvies as they were called, hauling, cutting and blasting their way across the landscape north of the Yarra River. The aqueduct was 11 feet wide, about 4 foot deep, a bit over 4 foot deep, brick-lined and sealed with cement. And the cement coating was the first time that construction method had been used in Victoria. In fact, you can still find a couple of the original wrought iron pipes here on the trail between Allendale Road and Diamond Creek. These workers were hard-working, hard-drinking types who generated wealth and work for the local police, hotels, doctors, undertakers, shopkeepers, magistrates, and the many sly grog shops that popped up along the route. They not only had to do the work by hand, living in tents and bark huts, working 6 days a week in all weather, they baked the bricks in kilns dotted along the aqueduct. Many had wives and children who lived and travelled with them. The aqueduct was finally finished in 1891 and flowed continually until the early 2000s, when it was superseded by pipelines and finally switched off, although there are parts up near Healesville where the water still flows. So while this is empty now, it remains an engineering feat and an important part of Melbourne's history. And we hope that this aqueduct trail becomes an important part of the Northern Trails network, encouraging locals and Melburnians to enjoy the trails in Nillumbik and the wider Melbourne network. Thanks for your time.